It was Duchess. Duchess.
But that didn't last long, because on March 3rd, Katie and Chris spoke to the podcast Duchess about Sebastian's disappearance, and this was their first interview with the media.
Yes, I'm crazy. Yes, I cuss a lot. But yes, I'm as real as you get.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to do a cold case tonight. I appreciate all of y'all being here. Hey, Amanda Kamar. We're going to be talking about a Tennessee cold case, David Warner, who went missing in 1983. So I appreciate y'all joining me. Hey, Arctic Fox, thank you for being here. Hey, Allie, thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Chris. Hope you're doing good. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. Nightbot doesn't want to do what it's supposed to be doing, but I think you finally did come in. Hey, Andy Rose. Good to see you. Got a special guest with me tonight. Y'all welcome my best friend and the queen of the channel and the Discord, Michelle Macklin. Thank you, Michelle, for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me and covering this case.
Absolutely. Hey, Heidi Cakes. Says, I hope everyone is well. I'm so happy I got home in time to see this. It's such a perplexing case. It really is. And we're going to talk about the case. We're going to talk about all the facts that we know, look at some news articles, look at the Charlie Project, look at his flyer and some pictures. And then we're going to really kind of do a little deep dive and talk about some things that are really concerning in this case. And Nightbot reminds us, don't forget, subscribe to Duchess, ring the notification bell for all future videos and lives on this channel. So don't forget to crush the like button. Like and share is a free way to support this content. And we appreciate all of you being here. True Wrecking Crime, thank you for being here. Hope you're doing good. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Butterbutt Bougie Biscuit. I That's the best thing I've seen all day. Butterbutt Boucher Biscuit. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're doing good. Wait a minute. Okay, is that you? Stop it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Christina. How you doing, hon? It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Y'all don't forget that Christina is one of our mothers that has a missing son. So please don't forget to continue to share his case out. Hey, Ida Anthony from Emmett, Idaho. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Shaylee. Hope you're doing good. I think there's probably a bunch of other people live. But that's okay because we have important things that we're going to be talking about here. So don't forget to just, when you slide in, just go ahead and hit that like button, share it out if you're on the replay gang. I understand y'all are busy, and I do appreciate all of my people that watch this stuff on the replay. I get a lot of comments and people sending me message, hey, I didn't catch your live, but I did watch it on the replay, and then they shared their thoughts with me. And so if you are watching this on the replay, please leave me a comment underneath the video and share your thoughts about the case with me, because I always like to hear what you guys are thinking. Because some of these cases, I just have so many questions. And like I said, don't forget to share out Aaron Fortner's flyer for Miss Christina. And Christina has a TikTok up, and she is sharing out her son's information over there. And she also shares out other missing cases. So Christina, I wanted to thank you for doing that, because it really takes a village of people working together. And that really means so much to see you out there advocating to get others who are missing, to get their information and their face out there. So thanks for doing that. I see your post on TikTok all the time, and I try to share them. So thanks for doing that. Hey, Dragon. I hope you're doing good. Now, don't forget, tomorrow night, before we get started, I wanted to remind everybody that last year we had a New Year's Eve live stream, and we watched the fireworks from all around the world as we changed from 2023 into 2024. And we just kind of had an open discussion, just kind of chatted about all the little things while we were waiting on that countdown. So we're going to do that again tomorrow night. I will be live streaming over here on Duchess at 10:45. If you guys want to, drop in and say Happy New Year, or you want to hang out for a while and chat with us, and we might play some games. I don't know. I got to figure out. I'm going to talk to Michelle and see if we can figure out how to get that game thing back up working again, because I unsubscribed. I'll have to figure out how to get it loaded. But, it'll be just a fun time if you guys don't have anything and you're not going out. It's the middle of the week. So hubby's on call. So I thought it would be, I'm going to make some dinner. And I thought it would just be a good way for us to kind of hang out and bring in the new year on the channel together for 2025. Pants are not required, Elizabeth. You know what you're inviting when you say that, right? I mean, I would not really say that.
No.
Would say, if you're going to be on panel with me, pants are required.
Especially if you're going to stand up.
If you're going to stand up with your camera on, pants are definitely required. If you're in the chat, that's totally your call, and you don't even have to share that you're not wearing pants. Please don't. Just say it. Also, I made this little video, and I want to show it to you before we get started. Clothes are optional. Screwball. Hand me your devices, sir. So I found these little clips, and if you guys pay attention to what's in the clips, you'll probably recognize a couple of these clips from this little 1-minute clip that I'm going to show you, but I had AI to write me a little song about the Dutch bus and what we do for the missing. And I put it to this little video clip of a couple of famous buses. And I want to see if you guys can recognize. So I'm going to be looking in the comments to see if you guys can recognize where these couple of clips came from. So I'm going to play that little clip for you now before we get started. Yes, 41 years, Amanda. 41 years. I had to share it with y'all, so I thought this would make you guys smile. Yes, you're going to wear pants, Andy Rose? Oh, but you're not going to. Well, listen. Do you, boo? Do you? Who was Screwball? Tell him, Michelle. Do you know
Screwball is my husband, so I'm sorry.
Don't apologize for him. Lord, help me, help me, help me. I can't. Y'all are cracking me up. All right, here's my little video I got to play for y'all.
With all the voices, we rise and unite, creating awareness. We'll shine through the night. From every corner, we'll spread the news wide. For every missing soul, we'll stand by their side. Join the Dutch bus, let's make a change today. Together we're stronger, we'll pave the way. We're the voice for the voiceless, the light in the dark, spreading the word, igniting the spark. With each missing person, our courage won't fade. Together united, a difference is made.
Did y'all recognize any of those clips? Did y'all recognize any of those buses?
I didn't, should I?
Yes. The first one was from James Bond.
Oh,
The first one was James Bond. Did you not see who was driving the bus?
I did not.
Wait a minute. Allie says no clue. By the way, thank you. Let me go back up here. I have to do it on my phone. Thank you, Butterbutt Bougie Biscuit, for your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Look, there's CLK back in the chat now. I just seen you come in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to play it one more time, and I want you guys to look to see if you recognize where these came from. All right, one more time.
With all the voices, we rise and unite, creating awareness. We'll shine through the night. From every corner, we'll spread the news wide. For every missing soul, we'll stand by their side. Join the Dutch bus, let's make a change today. Together we're stronger, we'll pave the way. We're the voice for the voiceless, the light in the dark, spreading the word, igniting the spark. With each missing person, our courage won't fade. Together united, a difference is made.
All right, I put it in chat. Did y'all catch it?
Now I
that
saw
time?
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. And then the second one, where the bus drives up to the boy on the ground, that was Harry Potter.
On the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
After
well, I
that,
didn't
the
see his
crazy
face.
guy with the googly eyes is driving the crazy bus through the crowd. I'll have to add that second part of the clip. Elizabeth said I would recognize the Partridge Family. I'll have to add that one, Elizabeth. Yeah, Harry Potter was on the ground, And then the last bus was the Beatles.
Okay, the Beatles, I did notice that one.
Yeah. Yeah, 007. 007. That's how we do over here. Hey, Chatty. All right, so now we've had our fun. I had to just kind of break the ice with y'all. So let me go. I want to go back over here and just say, hey, did I get everybody? I didn't miss anybody, did I? While I was playing my crazy video, I just wanted to see if y'all might recognize any of them. But since the Partridge Family wasn't in there, Chatty, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate you so much. You missed the Beatles? Do I need to see? Y'all got to listen. Y'all got to start telling me all the different buses. Now I've got to star that one, the Spice World bus, so I can remember that. Arctic Fox, thank you for being a member for 23 months. I appreciate you so very much. Oh, I have this one funny one that I need to play y'all too. Hang on a second, let me find it. Do I have it on here? Oh, and I have this one.
I forgive, but I don't forget. That's it. And especially if I ain't never had no beef with you, don't start no beef with me. I ain't the person to be beefing with. I'm just telling you, I don't mess with nobody. I don't disrespect nobody. Don't disrespect me or don't play with me or my kids. I'm good.
Period. That is, that's my 2025 motto. So just preparing y'all for what has already been, for what has been unburdened by what has been. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get over here. So we are going to be talking tonight about the cold case of David Warner. How many, put a 1 in chat if you have heard about the cold case of David Warner missing out of Jefferson City, Tennessee. Amanda, I hope not either. But it just goes to show you that kids do go missing, and sometimes they aren't found quickly, and the parents are not necessarily responsible. So we're going to, once we get into all this, we're going to talk about all of that. Arctic and Allie have. Hey, try me, bitch. Good to see you. Hey, Okie. Hope you had a happy holiday. It's good to see you. Hey, Two Old Crows. Two Old Crows has heard of it. Heidi Cakes. So a few of you have heard of this case. I did make David a new flyer. This was an old flyer of David Warner missing out of Jefferson City, Tennessee. And I did make him a new one because I feel like it needs to be updated. A new one with his updated picture that was made by the National Center for the Missing and Exploited Children.
That one looks a lot better.
Well, we want to grab their attention. I feel like some of these flyers, you know, people see so many flyers, they all look alike. I think people just sometimes cruise right over them. I try to make them kind of stand out for social media. And we're going to go over some things about David Warner. You can find the links to a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in the description of this video. You can find his Facebook group, Find Little David Warner. That link is in there. The mods also have access, if you're in my Discord, to the mod links. And there's a link to the Facebook group in there also. David is also listed on the Charlie Project, and the mods can also drop that link in chat if you guys want to go over there and look at all of the different photographs that are over there. David Warner has been missing since March the 2nd of 1983. He is classified as endangered missing. He is a white male. His date of birth is January the 30th, 1971. He's just 2 years older than me. And he would be 53 years old right now. He went missing when he was 12. He was between 5'2" and 5'5" tall, according to the Charlie Project, and weighed approximately 110 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black and white Pittsburgh Steelers sweatshirt, blue jeans, and sneakers. David suffers from epilepsy. He has blonde hair and brown eyes, and his nickname is Little David. And according to the details of his disappearance, thank you for dropping that, Allie. Jesus 444, thank you so much for being here, darling. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you stopping by. You're welcome, Okie. According to the Charlie Project, David was last seen in Jefferson City, Tennessee, and that day after school, he said he was going to go to a church function up the street from his home on Beeler Avenue. And we're gonna take a look at these locations after we go over the details of the case. We're gonna take a look at that. He did go to the church, but he didn't go inside, and instead he went up to Druther's restaurant. And Michelle, how far would you say Druther's restaurant is from David's house?
About 3 city blocks.
Okay, and we are going to look at that. The restaurant had a policy that children who presented report cards with good grades could get a free meal. And David's school report card had just come out that day, and he had an A in phys ed. So the restaurant gave him a free hamburger. It's unclear where David went afterwards. There are different reports, including one that he watched television at a friend's home and left to go home at 7 p.m., and he's never been heard from again. David's family didn't realize he wasn't home until the next morning. His bed covers were arranged in a way to make it look like he was in bed asleep. At first, they thought he had spent the night at his friend's house, as he often did. Now, I have to stop right here, because when I first read this, I'm going to be honest with you, it did kind of make me feel some kind of way, because I don't think I've ever gone to bed at night and not know that my child was not home at 12 years old.
True.
So I felt like that was a very odd way for the Charlie Project to write that his family didn't realize that he wasn't home until the next morning, because it seems like they would have confirmed, like, well, we saw him go to bed.
I would think so. I mean, what time did they go to bed?
I mean, I don't have any of that information. And it is odd to say that his bed covers were arranged in a way to make it look like he was in bed asleep. So that's why they thought he had spent the night at a friend's house. But wouldn't you know that before your kid went missing? Like, wouldn't you know that the night of that he was at a friend's house?
I would think so, but I mean, maybe that's just how they did it. I don't know. It was in 83.
Yeah.
So,
So see, times have definitely changed.
I was 13. My mother would have wanted to know where I was.
Absolutely. Hey, Cold Case Crystal, thank you for being here. I totally understand. Shauna M., thank you for being a member for 3 months. I so appreciate you. Thank you for dropping that news story. We are definitely going to look at that at the WATE recent update that was given earlier this year. Baton Rouge, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. If you received a membership from Baton Rouge, please thank them. I appreciate that so much. That's a great way to support the channel and helping others to feel inclusive. So welcome, 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 everyone that's hiding in the bushes. Come on out. You were 10, Shauna? I was 9. So yeah. Now, it says that when his disappearance was reported to police, investigators believed that he might have run away. But his family never believed this. There was a tip that David was living in Florida with a cousin of his biological father. But this was discounted. David's father, who is now deceased, said he did not know of his son's whereabouts. According to his family, David was extremely friendly, even to strangers, and could have easily been lured into a stranger's car. Authorities believe he may have been abducted and murdered, but little evidence is available in his case. David's mother was unmarried and only a teenager when he was born, so his grandmother legally adopted and raised him. He was close to his mother throughout his whole life, however. He was a 4th grade student at Jefferson City Elementary School in 1983, and although he wasn't a good student, he had to repeat the year. His loved ones described him as a bright, streetwise, and pleasant boy, and his case remains unsolved. And if you have any information about David Warner, you can reach out to the investigating agency, which is the Jefferson City Police Department, and that is at 615-475-2002. There's just something that bothers me about this case. This is a picture of David with his family. My, how time flies and Olin Mills' photographs change.
They did.
Because I do remember 1983. I've got some photographs. In fact, I've got a photograph over here of me in 1983 with my sister. And these colors, this whole sepia background. And look at little David. Olin Mills Alley. I figured Cold Case Crystal would come in here and say something snarky because she's a photographer. David looks a lot different when... David looks a lot different. Was he adopted or a half-brother?
Well, his mother was 16 and unwed.
Yes.
So her mother, his grandmother, adopted him.
Yeah.
But they did tell him at some point who his mother was, and she stayed close with him.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Now, if this case happened in 2024, I can tell you it would be bad because they would be vilifying the mom, vilifying the grandmother, dragging them for filth, deep diving into their backgrounds. Because, listen, let's face it, in 1983, there wasn't that much information. There was probably barely any information going around about David's missing case. except for what people saw on the news, because there wasn't anything such as social media.
Yeah.
So pretty much
Newspapers and news.
that's it. That's it. Let me get over here and share this. In fact, this is how we used to see the missing from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I used to get these milk cartons when I was a kid, and there would be missing kids on them. Put a 1 in chat if you are old enough to remember this. I do
You know,
wanna see that,
I
because
always figured that they should have put it on the back of cereal boxes because the milk you poured and put back in the fridge. Cereal boxes people read.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Let's go over here and check out the chat. Charles Doc Holiday, thank you for being here. Charles remembers. COK remembers. Dragon, Shauna, Heidi, Allie, Cold Case Crystal. Yeah, no cell phones, no internet. I'm Gen X. We didn't grow up with that stuff. Had to be home by the time the street lights cut on, which I lived out in the country. We didn't have street lights. So when grandma went to ringing that dinner bell, you better hope you was there, because if you didn't get no dinner. Period. That's the year you graduated? Oh, Johnny Ghost vibes too. Yeah, a tip came in that he may have been involved Florida with his uncle, but apparently they said it was discounted. Now, I just don't know. Yeah, see, okay. Better have your butt in the house. Cold Case Crystal says the milk company had an agreement to put kids on the box. I remember the case that first put a kid on the box. Yeah, me too. And now we have social media. I wonder why they ever stopped doing that. It seems like they would have done this, the cereal boxes, though. I agree with you, Michelle, for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the updated photo of what David may look like with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
With epilepsy that you would know, do you have to take medication for that?
A lot of kids do take medication for that, which is why people, especially children, now they use, like, because CBD is something that's big for seizures. It has been a game changer for people who cannot tolerate taking medications. So, because those clinical trials can be rough. It just depends on the severity.
Said he was diagnosed the first day he was born.
Wow. Yeah, and there is, in some cases, epilepsy can be treated with surgery, devices, dietary changes, but a lot of times they do require a sedative or an anticonvulsant. So I just wonder if that meant that he was also going without his medication.
That's what I was wondering. I never saw anything about medication.
Because with epilepsy, I mean, I worked in the nursing field, I worked in cardiology, but I too myself have focal seizures. And it's because I almost drowned in the ocean. And I was in cold water for a pretty long time. And when they took me out of the water, my heart stopped. And before that happened, I was having seizures, and I've had them ever since. but they are very well controlled with CBD, and I'm actually on 2 other medications. So, you know, a lot of, like, the doctor will say, like, epilepsy and having something that's induced is totally different. You know, epilepsy is usually something that people are born with. You're not supposed to miss doses of your medication, get plenty of sleep, drink plenty of water, eat a healthy, balanced diet, reduce stress, control anxiety, avoid alcohol and recreational drugs. Some people with epilepsy should avoid flashing lights. I'm sure you guys have seen that if you're on TikTok or you watch Instagram or any of these videos that may have flashing lights. Like, for some people that can trigger them. There's different ways to manage your seizures, and people has to find out what works for them because it's different for a lot of different people. So it's very difficult to say how David was affected. But I'm assuming that if you've been diagnosed since birth, it's not probably something that's going to just go away on its own. So, yes, and sedatives, like benzos, yes, are prescribed. I do have one that I can take when because my face will seize up on one side and it will look like I have Bell's palsy. But I don't really get that a lot anymore. It was bad there for a while. So seizure disorders can really range different for different people. So I've always had questions about the epilepsy part of that too, because you have to wonder if something like that played a part in what happened. There's a lot of questions I feel like that aren't really answered about him. So, but this age progression photo that we're looking at right now is from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I do think Allie did drop that link in chat, but I'll drop it again here. This is the NC the NCIC, the Missing and Exploited Children link for David Clayton Warner. And it does have this age progressed photo to 42 years. Lots of questions about that. Your daughter has seizures too, Christina? Your niece has the nocturnal seizures? Yep. Yep, Topamax sure is. I used to take that. You're not going to lie, that looks like your old gym teacher? Oh my gosh. He is a handsome fella. Yep, Ethan Patz. Yep. That was the first. Yeah, the disco lights, I probably wouldn't have done good at the disco. I don't know. It really hasn't ever affected me, but I know it does affect some other people. So, yeah, they do give that for migraines because it's a neurological thing. And some of these times they don't understand exactly how it works, but it does. So it's kind of like it's an off-brand prescribing, basically. They figured out that it could treat symptoms of something that it's not particularly made for. So, but I do think that it's very interesting that he has all of these things going on. And I do want to get over here because I do want to share something with you. Let me take this down. I'm going to share my screen. Now, this is the update that was released from WATE News. And this was back on May the 2nd of this year. What happened to little David Warner, Jefferson City's missing child case still open after 41 years? So we're going to watch this. Let me fix I think my thing is, hang on, let me get over here. Well, I thought it was going to play me something on David. I guess it's not. What the heckin'? Okay, let's see what it says. I'm going to have to get on my phone. I can't see chat. Oh, okay, Arctic. Go enjoy your dinner. You take that too, Elizabeth, for your trigeminal neuralgia? Okay, on this article from WATE, and again, this is from May 2nd. You can see it right here, 2024. It says it's been more than 4 decades since David Warner's family last saw him in March of 1983, and there are still not clear answers about where the 12-year-old boy went and if he could still be alive. David Clayton Warner, who was also known by the nickname Little David, disappeared from Jefferson City on March the 2nd, 1983. David was at home, had a good report card, and there was a store that gave out ice cream to the kids that had good report cards. So he left home and was headed to that store, and he disappeared, said Detective Sergeant Joseph Reff with the Jefferson City Police Department. His picture was on milk cartons and newspaper flyers and on the post office wall. And so leads would come in and the detective would follow up the leads at that, but no leads were ever really substantiated. Reff has been investigating the case for 2 years, while the search for answers in Warner's disappearance has spanned over 4 decades. Since Reff has been on the case, the police department has searched old septic systems in the area where Warner lived and used cadaver dogs to search abandoned homes in the area around where Warner lived. He said they've continued to interview people whose names come up in the investigation, including some who have been on death row for 40 years. The latest lead he followed up on in the case was 2 months ago. There are still no answers for Warner's family, but there are multiple theories about what some think may have happened to him. Reff said some believe that Warner may have been kidnapped and taken to Florida, and others think his remains could be in the area. According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, which is NamUs, when Warner's family discovered he was missing on the morning of March 3rd, 1983, his bed covers were bundled up in a way that could be viewed as a ploy to make it appear he was in bed. NamUs also states that there was a massive search for Warner, but no trace of him was ever found. The profile for him states that foul play is suspected. Reff explains that the most frustrating part about the case is not knowing what happened to David Warner. And the most frustrating part is that, We have no idea what happened to David. He just disappeared. And so it's just trying to find the cliche needle in a haystack, just to find the one little thing that will get us to locate David or remains, and to be able to do something with the case. That little thing, he explained, could be if bones or evidence are found, but he also said that every tip that is submitted and every lead will be investigated. Ref also added that for the Jefferson City Police Department, the case is open. We're still looking for David. We're still looking for closure, Ref said. When it's my turn to retire from this department, the case will be passed on to the next detective, and it will continue to be a case that is on somebody's desk and is still being actively looked at. If Warner were found today, he would be 53 years old. In 2020, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children shared an age-progressed photo of what Warner might look like when he went missing. He had strawberry blonde hair and brown eyes. Ref added that anyone who may have information that could help investigators find Warner can submit a tip by calling the Jefferson City Police Department at 865-475-2002, by emailing one of the detectives at the police department, or by submitting a tip through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and you can do that by calling 1-800-THE-LOST. And while Warner has been missing for 41 years, his family still operates the Find Little David Warner Facebook. And that Facebook page is right here. 2.3 thousand followers. And their last post they have here was on May 4th.
Well, I definitely can guarantee you it's still an open investigation because I did submit a FOIA, and the officer did call me and let me know that he couldn't release anything due to it being ongoing. I told him a couple of things that I was interested in knowing, and he said it looked like I had gotten some good information, but he could not release whether it was true or not. So.
And they don't release FOIAs in open investigations. So,
no.
But we did try to see if there was information that we could get that would possibly, shed some light about, what they do know. Do you have any thoughts and feelings about this case, Michelle? Any theory?
I don't think they followed up enough on the Florida lead. I don't understand what they mean by a legal entanglement between Tennessee and Florida that put the investigation off. But an officer that did go by the house did see a child that looked like little David. And by the time they got around to investigating it, the man had moved. I don't know, since his mother was 16 when she had him, I don't know what kind of relationship he had with his dad. And, the man is deceased now. So I don't know if he would have took him or what.
Right. I'm going to pull up my... Let's see if I've got this on my screen. Hang on. Let's see if I can find... I've got a video from WATE. Let me see if I can pull that up. And I'll share my screen.
And the house that is right next door to where he lived, they did find pieces of clothing in the septic tank. There was a strange man who lived there that people said was a peeping Tom. And that's what I asked. That's what I asked the officer about, was the pieces of clothing in the septic tank. And he said he couldn't confirm that, but the way he answered it sounded like that was true.
Yikes.
So.
Oh,
But
that's
I
not
did
good
not
at all.
get, no. I mean, I didn't get verbal confirmation because he couldn't.
Wow. 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 That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Well, we've heard the septic tank theory come up in a few other cases.
We have. And little pieces of clothing, if they ripped it up or cut it up, would fit down a toilet to flush.
Right.
You got to think about what's going to flush and what's going to go down a drain.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and explain to people about septic tanks in Tennessee and people being in septic tanks.
Well, septic tanks in Tennessee are usually at least a foot, if not more, under the ground. You got to dig those up.
My gracious. All right, let's listen to this video real quick. And this is only about a minute. Do a quick fair use.
David was at home, had a good report card, and there was a store that gave out ice cream to kids that had good report cards. So he left home and was heading to that store, and he disappeared. You know, in our eyes with the Jefferson City Police Department, the case is still open. I mean, we're still following up on any leads that come in. I actually followed up on a lead on it 2 months ago, a lead that was called in. So really just to let everybody know the case is still alive. You know, we're still looking for David. We're still looking for closure. And, you know, when it's my turn to retire from this department, it'll be passed on to the next detective. And it will continue to be a case that is on somebody's desk and still being actively looked at.
From a snowstorm to a...
From tried and true to try something new.
We do not want to watch that. Okay, back over here. Just not a lot of information. Not a lot of information at all.
No, I did see his cousin put his DNA on file. But since his cousin's a male, and I know the mitochondrial DNA
Comes from the female.
Comes from the female. How good would that DNA be if they had remains somewhere on matching those?
Yeah. Okay. That just, I'm not sure, because I feel like the mitochondrial DNA is what's going to be most important.
Correct. That's what I would think.
Yeah. Also, real quick, I wanted to let you guys know that I went over to my community wall. We had the poll about where you wanted the next Dutch Butts merchandise t-shirt to the 501c3. You guys vote. We're supposed to vote. And I wanted to just let y'all know real quick because I'm over here on my YouTube and I wanted to just give you guys an update. I'm going to share that real quick before I get into, because I have to unload my YouTube so I can load up Google Earth, because otherwise we'll go to the moon. So I wanted to get that out of the way so I can get that off my screen and go to the other one. Let's see here. This is where we elected to vote. Okay. No, it's not, because I just moved the screen. Let me go back and find it. Gosh, so many cases. Am I going to be able to find it? Let me go over here and scroll down. My scroller just does not want to do right. I'm so glad that baby was found safe from the Amber Alert.
Me too. That
I
was
was-
close to me as well.
Yes, I was so worried when I seen you pop it over there in the Amber Alert Discord chat. I was like, I'm going to share it out. I even saw Trev Time live on TikTok talking about it. I was like, well, we got to get the word out. I was so thankful that child was, because somebody stole the parent's car with the
Well, the
child.
grandparent.
Or the grandparent, yeah.
There was reports that they pulled the grandfather out of the car.
And
But
he was injured, right?
he was.
How terrible and scary.
And they did not find the car very far from where he was taken.
That is so scary.
Scary.
Ah, here we go. Okay, so here's where we all voted 4 days ago for the 501c3 that you would like to nominate. These were some of the selections, and then you could vote if you wanted to put up another one for the next Dutch brand merch shirt for the profits to go to. And it looks like 61% of you voted for EquiSearch.
That's a good organization.
Yep. So we had 69 votes. I know we've got more members than 69. But really, anybody on the channel could vote. So do you guys want me to give you longer to vote on that? Or do you guys want to go with EquiSearch? I need you to tell me in chat, because if you want me to keep it up, I will. I'll repost it again if you guys want to vote more. But I mean, we can still do another shirt, and I can let y'all vote again for other ones. You know, if you guys have some ideas, I mean, just let me know and we'll add those to the voting poll. My phone's telling me I'm not connected to the internet. That's wonderful. Hang on. Lord, I'm like, I'm live. How can I not be on my phone? Don't make any sense. Let me go over here and see. We have y'all. Hang on. Okay, don't look at me because my hair's all flat where I just took my curlers out not too long ago. Y'all, we have 155 members. We have
that's amazing.
We have 155 members, y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for supporting this mission. 155 total members. Y'all, that means the world to me. I appreciate y'all so very much. Y'all rock. Y'all rock. I cannot believe it. We have 155 members.
That's amazing.
That is so amazing. You would say EquiSearch too? Okay. Well, Elizabeth, what was the question? I am coming over to your house.
Somebody's not listening.
Somebody is not listening. Elizabeth, you were supposed to go vote on my community wall, which I know there's 100 missing people since I posted that. But if you want me to repost it, I can. But that's what I was sharing my screen. Let me share it again so you can see where I asked you guys to go vote. You have to scroll down because that was 4 days ago. I asked you guys to vote where you would like to nominate the next shirt that I put up, where you want the profits to go. We have one that is going to Nick. All the profits go to Nick Mick. We have another shirt that is going all profits to the Broken Link Foundation, which is a foundation that is local to South Carolina that has former law enforcement, people in the community. It is a 501c3 that helps to search for missing people. They make missing flyers. They work with families directly. And then this is going to be the third shirt that I'm going to put live. And I needed for you guys to vote where you wanted the profits of the shirt. Because listen, all of these shirts that I'm making, I don't get any of the profits. The company makes them, and then whatever the profit is, they send it. In fact, people who have already purchased shirts, their money has already been sent to the foundations. Yes, I've already had people to purchase merchandise, and it's already been sent to them this year. And it looks like you guys voted 61% EquiSearch. So that's what we're going to go with. So I wanted to let you guys know that. You did EquiSearch, Elizabeth? Okay, so you were paying attention. You did vote. Cold Case Crystal says, I made a list of the good deeds I want to do once I build Hold My Halo channel up. I think that's incredible. I think it's wonderful if we, listen, this is hard work, and it takes a lot of time and effort. So I think it's okay to monetize your channel. And anything that I make from this channel, I just put it back into the channel itself, so we can keep paying it forward. It just helps me to pay to keep this mission going. But I feel like there is a lot that we can do to pay it forward. And a lot of times that's what I do. And I want you guys to know that, that it is going to something important. So, I made that merchandise because I want you guys to support the channel, but I want you to know that it's going to something good. Because that, how else are we going to keep the mission focused on the people that matter? And we got to pay it forward. And that's what I feel like I'm able to do that. We're, right now I'm looking at my channel on my studio on my phone. And it says that we are getting ready to be at 9,100 subscribers. And that's great because my mission in 2025 is to reach that 10K so that we can pay it forward. By having live streams, when we're talking about the missing, we can actually set it up for giving so that we can pay it forward to other nonprofit organizations, because that's what this mission is about, COK, thank you so very much. I love you so much. You are so amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Baton Rouge, you gifted 5 memberships. If you just received a membership from Baton Rouge, please, please, please thank them. Thank y'all so much for supporting this channel. This is a wonderful way to pay it forward by making people feel inclusive. So welcome everybody that received a membership. Let's see, earlier in the chat, who did we actually have that received a membership? I didn't get a chance to go over there and look at that. I think I did screenshot it. Earlier, it looks like Chris received a membership. Sadie Beth, Rubber Ramada, Sexy Wild Thing, McLovin, Freaking Babyface Claus, Johnson, and Emily Pickles received a membership. And Baton Rouge, you are so kind. Trixie Creations for You, Laughing Heart, Captain Ganja, Bonnie's Journeys, and Little Daisy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Dutch Bus. You guys are amazing. Now I'm going to pull up my Google Earth and we're going to take a look because Michelle is going to walk us through what this actually looks like in David Warner's case. Hey, Bo. Hey, Duchess and all stopping by to show some support. I'm cooking dinner, but listening. Thank you for being here, Bo. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to click out of my YouTube so I can get over here because Google Earth takes up a lot of space for some reason. I guess because it's holding all of Earth. See, okay, we appreciate your support so very much. Okay, we're going to go to Explore Earth. And Michelle, what's the first place that you want me to look up on this Google Earth? Let me share my screen.
First one will be 1521 Beeler Avenue in Jefferson City. That's where he lived.
And you sent me a list of that, so. Okay, here we go. Put your seatbelts on and your helmets. Get prepared. We're traveling.
This plane ride does not come with the bags that you need.
Yeah, exactly.
No barf bags.
Okay, now how did I get on the layers this time? How did I get that the last time? Remember you told me I needed to go click on something?
I mean, if you could just zoom down, I don't think we need anything but an overhead in this.
Okay.
Because where that cross is, that's the church.
Oh, wow.
And then two houses
Okay,
down.
there's Odell.
His house. Yeah, two houses down would be his house from that
There's
church.
Sycamore, and there's Beeler. So if we go to this one, is it going to take me exactly to where? Why does it pull all the way out? Okay,
Yeah,
it's got Beeler all the way down here.
Yeah, it crosses over Muldoon. And the house on the other side of that driveway, that would be down. That's the septic
Over
tank
here?
where the clothes was found. No, down. Same side of the street.
Down here.
Yeah. No, down here. Down. Your down and my down are not being the same here.
Down in front?
See the one that says 1020 on the
down
top?
Here? At
Yes,
1020?
right there.
Yeah.
That's the septic tank that had the pieces of clothing.
This is where his clothing was found?
Pieces of clothing in the septic tank. I can't confirm it was his, but the officer made it sound like it was. That was right across the driveway, right next door.
And the church is literally right here.
Yes.
This is the church that they're referencing?
Yes.
Okay. And the restaurant is on Broadway.
It is. They supposedly he would walk down Beeler, across Muldoon, and continue down Beeler all the way to the main road at Broadway. Turn right, and that El Sazon Mexican restaurant, that was Druther's.
Right here.
Right there.
This place right here?
Yes. Yes.
So really, he never left his little neck of the neighborhood. It's not like he had to
No.
cross any main thoroughfares like this highway out here.
No.
I mean, he was still, I mean,
And then right there, Odell and Sycamore, just right
we're
behind the
talking about
restaurant.
his house is down here.
Yeah, but Odell and Sycamore was the last place
Here's
he
his
was
house.
seen.
Odell and Sycamore right here.
Yes, that was the last place somebody actually put eyes on him.
That looks like a
It does.
That looks like a duplex.
But his family said they don't know why he would have been there.
Well, I wonder if he had some friends that lived there.
That's a good question.
Very interesting. So they either might have saw him walking to the restaurant because the restaurant's just right up there.
Yeah, well, I think he did eat there, so maybe he was walking back. I mean, I don't know why he would have went all the way down Beeler to Broadway, because it would have been closer to go over to Odell and down.
That's a good question. And they didn't say who saw him. It was just someone, I guess, police spoke to.
I guess so. Yeah,
We
they
need
never...
the Google car alley. Elizabeth said, I heard Dutchie sigh. It makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you go from that, but then you go to this kid? I mean, he's still here.
Yeah. I mean, nothing about that's far.
I've just got questions. Gosh, this is an older part of town, definitely.
And supposedly they searched abandoned homes around there.
So this would be where he was staying, but this is where they found the septic tank, the clothes in the septic tank.
Yes.
And it looks like someone's still living in that house.
Yeah.
Anybody else find it odd that somebody in their convertible Eclipse is just parked in to nothing? Just asking for free. I'm just asking.
Can't quit running.
Yeah.
Walking that far.
I got lots of questions. I just wonder where this septic tank is. Is it in all this brush right here? I mean, they already got a daggone bulldozer out there. They might as well just go ahead and start bulldozing some of this stuff.
Well, they should, but now where the circle, where they marked it on the map, was about where the excavator's sitting.
Really?
It was off the back corner of the house.
If she zooms up, I
Let
probably
me
see
get
it.
back up. Hang on, let me drive my Google car back up here. I'm not an expert like Crystal. I mean, I'm going way the wrong way. Hang on, get over here. I want to go up this street right here. Take me this way. No, not in this field. Y'all, we might go to Mongolia again. I'm just saying, it could happen. I want to go up this road right here. Wait a minute, I think I'm going to have to back out. I didn't got myself down a daggone rabbit hole. Take me back up. Okay, here we go. See, it won't take me down this little side road. See, there's even little houses down in here.
Yeah.
So you think it's about where the excavator is?
That's where they showed it.
Crystal said, "Don't wreck my car." Hey, Charla. Crystal, you might have to come up here and start driving this thing because apparently I'm not doing a very good job. I'm about to take us down some road that we might get lost. I don't know.
Crystal can definitely zoom us around. I'm telling you.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, 41 years. Do you think it's highly likely that he might have went to go live with his father, I guess, was living in Florida. And I guess one of the possibilities that people are saying is that his father could have abducted him and he could have been raised in Florida.
That's a possibility.
Now,
and I think it's one that was not checked into
not
good.
Investigated. Yeah. It sounds like they just asked somebody and their answer was, nope, we ain't seen him. And they're like, okay. And then they just shut it down. Like, was there really any investigation? Probably not in 1983. I mean, I don't know if they
probably not.
revisited this, but I mean, the man's 41 years old. Like, why not just be like, hey, I'm him. I'm okay. I'm alive.
Yeah.
And they have not found any link to, since the family member has put the DNA on file, though, there has been, there's been no matches. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Allie said, but if the clothes were in the septic tank, if the clothes were his in the septic tank, would they have been put there to throw people off if he went to live with his father?
Well, that's a good question, too.
I'm still wondering where somebody gets the idea to put somebody's clothes in the septic tank for any reason, except for something nefarious.
Well,
shorts out.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a lot of clothing and other items out of one that I won't mention, but it does happen, but not like, a bunch of pieces that maybe are a child when a child doesn't live there.
All you had to say was adult toys.
Yes, adult toys find their way down there too.
Lord.
The more you know.
Crystal,
you're welcome for that info.
That's too much info. Good heavens. It just takes me back to this whole precedent of what it looks like on this 1983 case versus what it looks like, talking about these cases 41 years later with social media. it looks
Yeah.
so much different than looking at this milk carton right here. You know,
Well, it
social
does.
media can do so many great things, but I think it is an information portal that can be highly dangerous. And I just wonder, looking at all this information that doesn't add up, that doesn't make any sense, it's one of these cases that makes me think how people could exploit and destroy somebody's family like
Oh, yeah.
David Warner's family, because
I mean,
there's a lot of
can you
questions in
imagine?
this case. But we don't have any evidence
No.
that points to one thing or another. And 41 years has passed by. I really don't want to see Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers and so many of these other cases, like Michael Monkey Vaughn.
Somebody talking about him 41 years from now?
I probably won't be around in 41 years. I'm just saying. I might be. And if I find that people are still going hard on these people, I don't know. That's
We'll
probably
have to
why I
come out
won't
the
make.
nursing home.
We will. I'll be in the nursing home calling their hotlines on YouTube and just hammering them. Because it's not helping. I mean, it's hard for law enforcement to do something if they don't have the evidence. I mean, they can't just go out and say, well, the mom did it, or the dad abducted him, or, I mean, because they don't have any evidence.
No.
It could have been something nefarious. Somebody could have kidnapped him. What if David was walking by Odell and Sycamore, and what if there was something happening? I mean, in the 80s, there were still drugs and things that were happening. There were
That's
still
true.
people committing crimes. What if 12-year-old David walked up on some situation that was happening? We don't know what that neighborhood was like back in 1983, but crime happens everywhere, even in the 80s. What if David saw something and he's a witness to something? And I mean, you just don't know. Cold Case Crystal said if his clothes was there, those folks need to be questioned big time. Well, I mean,
Well, I think that man had already moved out. But again, he was a strange man that was a known peeper. I mean, what if he was on his way home and saw little David and said, hey, I'll give you a ride home?
exactly. So even if he moved out, they didn't go track him down?
I guess not. Maybe he had passed away. I don't know.
That's what concerns me about these cases when they go cold is, just like in Crystal's uncle's case. When cases go cold, people pass away and they can't be held accountable for the crime that they may be guilty of.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
his
why
grandmother that adopted him on her deathbed, her last words were, have they found little David?
the grandmother.
Yeah, the grandmother that adopted him. Yeah.
Well, that obviously tells me that I don't think she's involved.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that woman asking that on her deathbed. Bless her heart. Charles Doc Holliday says, so close to a main street also and never known where they're at. Yeah. Yeah. Heidi Cake says, Crystal, this is like Dennis Martin. Dennis was the one who disappeared in the snowstorm.
No, he was the little boy that disappeared in the Smoky Mountains when they botched the search efforts and passed all the laws on how you search.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We did talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Boy Scouts out there searching with the same size feet as him, and
Yeah, that was in, what, 69?
I believe it was. Crystal, yeah, I know you covered it. What year was that? But I mean, they
Yep.
allowed everybody to search, and that's why they didn't allow
Yep.
people just to come search in Summer's case,
Yep.
because they ended up having to rescue people that got lost searching for that little boy.
Yep. And that was Knoxville too. Yeah, because Crystal covered it.
Well,
Because he was like 6 years old, right? This kid,
yes,
Dennis Martin. I mean,
yeah,
can you imagine?
that was in like
Just
Kate's Cove, I think.
oh gosh.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. Dennis's scent would have been on his dad's clothes. So letting him out search and would throw the search dogs off.
Hey, Cherries. Good to see you. I hope you're doing good. I'm sorry I just got your message today. Thank you for sending me that. Y'all say hey to Cherries. This is Paul Flores' mom. We appreciate you being here. We've got 2 parents in the chat with missing sons. I don't want to see their case turn into something like David Warner's, where 41 years goes by without any answers.
No.
Because that frightens me. That's why it's so important. If you see something, say something. If you see this flyer, I'm going to share it on my community wall. I did share it earlier. I'll share it again. I'll share it on my Facebook page. If you see this flyer, if you see this flyer, if you see any of the information, please share this live stream out. Like it, share it. It helps us get in the algorithm so more people can see the case of David Warner and know the information. We've looked at the Google Earth. We've looked at the most recent news articles. We've heard what the police officer had to say that's now investigating this. He's been covering this for 2 years, and he says that David is still missing. Of course, Michelle told you that she tried to get a FOIA. That FOIA could not be filled because it is still an open investigation, and he vows that he will continue to keep this case open until they find the answers. I just really hope that they'll look more into speaking with his family that may be in Florida, in hopes that someone will come forward and say they know where he is. But I just don't like the fact that these clothes were potentially found at this property that's right across from David's house, because that leads me to believe that something nefarious happened. I don't know if I don't know if I believe that it was staged, rather than I believe that it was done to cover up something. Sadie Beth, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you got a membership. I shouted you out earlier. I'm so glad you made it.
I wonder if it was his clothes. What did the guy do with him?
Exactly. I wonder if he's buried on that property. I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, I have to ask these questions.
Yeah.
I mean, but it did say they had cadaver search dogs out there, right?
They did. They did.
I don't like that one bit.
No.
I just wonder how well that area was searched. I mean, he could have been dumped somewhere. He could have been taken somewhere and put somewhere else. The possibilities are endless.
Or
But it sounds like a family that wants to get answers. I just have to wonder about this, this lead in Florida. Was that thoroughly investigated? And I just really hope that Tennessee is going to continue to push forward to get answers.
I hope so, because I know even his cousin, who was born after he went missing, has been actively posting
Mhm.
and searching. So it haunts the whole family, even if they weren't around when he went missing. But when we look at this case, I don't think anybody has thought anything nefarious about the mother.
Right.
And the people that he was around every day. We need to remember that when we look at these cases. Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you need to be saying awful things about them.
Yeah, I agree. I was just looking over here on the NCMEC site. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me take this down. This was in 2020 from the National Center for the Missing and Exploited when David turned 49. And it just kind of gives the summary that we talked about. And on this one, it says David's family discovered he was gone the morning of March 3rd when his grandmother went to his room to wake him up for school and found that he wasn't there. His grandmother started calling neighbors and family members to see if they knew where David was. They said they hadn't seen him since the evening before when he had made his rounds collecting the money he had earned by mowing their lawns. That's something that is not in
No,
the Charlie Project.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard that.
And it says here he had taken that money and gone to Druther's fast food joint.
I thought that he
took his report card.
Yeah. So now I'm real confused.
Hey, Steph B. How you doing, hun? Good to see you. This is different. I've never heard this little part right here.
No. Not at all.
I didn't know anything about him mowing. And
Allie, it was in 2019 that they found the clothes in the septic tank.
And this was in 2020, by the way, on his birthday, January 30th. And it says Kathy Nash was 21 years old when her nephew went missing, but says David is more like her younger brother. After all, they're only 9 years apart and were raised under the same roof. They come from a big family in Tennessee, a family who galvanized to search for David as soon as they realized he was gone. We were hunting for David from here to Newport to the outskirts of Sevierville. It didn't matter. We went. If we got wind that David might be somewhere, somebody just saw a blonde-headed kid, we went. There were leads that came into the police, but nothing seemed to pan out. Little David never for a second left the minds of his family members. He was described as a good kid, street smart, able to make friends easily, and was even known to be a great billiard player, often beating men over twice his age in the pool halls. Hang on. Are you picking up what I'm picking up? Because now I got questions.
Yeah.
If 12-year-old David is out here in Tennessee beating men twice his age in pool halls, number one, what's he doing in the dang pool hall to begin with? Is who's there with him? Because you ain't supposed to be in the daggone pool hall. And second of all, if you're beating men over twice your age, I just want to know if there's money involved.
Yeah.
Because somebody might get their feelings hurt.
Well, that's true.
I grew up in some of the roughest pool halls you ever
Mhm.
seen.
So
I
it sounds a
mean-
lot like Screwball there.
Oh gosh.
Hey, don't be like, I love my childhood.
But I mean, it said
I'm
that he
just saying.
walked everywhere. So
And this is information once again about him being a pool player, beating men twice his age in the pool halls. I ain't never heard this before either.
I haven't either.
I just have to take all things into consideration because when you tell me a 12-year-old kid's going out playing pool in these pool halls, beating men twice his age, I just feel like I'm a grown man who's drinking could get a
Yeah.
little upset that
He
a
was
kid
12, so that would mean they were 24, early 20s.
Yeah, 24. I'm just listen, don't
I
listen
mean,
to
some
me.
crazy things happen in pool halls, so
Don't I know it?
I don't know.
Yeah, and I see that here. When my mother passed away, that was the last thing on her deathbed that she said that you could understand. Did you find little David yet? How sad.
So sad.
Now, listen, here it says, even though he was 12 when he went missing, his aunt says he was still in the 4th grade due to a learning disability and epilepsy, which often kept him in the hospital or at home as a child. The medication David took for his seizures rotted his teeth, and this could be an identifying factor if someone were to spot him. I feel like that's important to put on his missing information.
Yeah, well, there's the medication I was asking about earlier.
Ding, ding, ding. And he's got a learning disability. They didn't even say that.
No. Said he was bright, but had to be kept back. That's it. Nothing about being in the hospital.
Look at Crystal in chat. Oh, pool. Okay, I played pool that young. I had to sneak, though. Crystal. What am I going to do with y'all? And so, see, there's that picture.
Well, Crystal, I'm amazed that clothes lasted that long in a septic tank, and I'm also amazed that the dang thing wasn't drained before then. I mean, that's a no-no.
Well, that's a scary thought right there.
Yeah.
I just thought that was very interesting that this had information that was not available on the Charlie Project, nor on his regular Nick Mick missing information that Allie and I have dropped in chat.
Yeah, and it's nothing like what I've even read on the Reddits and stuff.
I did not see this on the Reddits, and let me tell you, that's a whole rabbit hole on Reddit. I just cannot get involved mentally in all of the Reddit threads because you'll go down a rabbit hole like Cold Case Crystal and you won't be able to come out for a week. I won't hear from Crystal for a week and I'm like, she must be down that daggone rabbit hole of whatever she's doing.
Yes,
and sure
throw her
enough,
ladder.
she'll come back in and she'll be like, y'all ain't gonna never guess what I've been doing. I know you're gonna tell us, girl. Hey, Jason. Hope you're doing good, hun. Good to see you.
Nobody wants to hear you, Jack.
Hubby likes. Oh, Jack. He was like, but I gotta say my part. You think it's suspicious too, Jack? I know you do, honey. Poor baby. Sweetie. Him is a baby. You getting some doozies? You do. I'm telling you. That's how I got it. Why y'all got to go over and sub up to Cold Case Crystal's backup channel. Hold My Halo. Somebody needs to drop that because she's going to be starting her book club. And I think she's going to be doing a giveaway. She's going to write down y'all's names if you come over to the book club. I think she's going to have it. When are you doing it? Are you doing it on Wednesday, Crystal? Is she doing it tomorrow, Wednesday, Michelle? I'm gonna wait for her to type in chat.
Thought it was Wednesday. I think. Pretty sure it was Wednesday. Or it might have been tomorrow. I don't know. Crystal, where are you, girl?
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, y'all need to go over there and sub up. She's going to be doing some awesome things on that channel. She's the one who introduced me to that book by Lisa Marie Presley and Riley Keough. And I'm going to tell you what, that book was so good. I listened to that audiobook going back and forth to my mom and daddy's house. When I'm driving, I listen to it on Spotify. And I'm going to tell you what, that was so good. And I'm just now getting started on this Ask Not book. And it's the audiobook. So when I'm cleaning, I just put it on my headphones. So if y'all don't see me on YouTube, that's because I'm down a rabbit hole with the Kennedys that Crystal made me get into. It's all her fault. You're doing it Wednesday? Okay. So we're going to start out reviewing this book by Lisa Marie Presley. And I'm going to tell y'all what, it is so good, y'all. It is so good. Y'all need to go over there and sub up and be there because she's going to do it every Wednesday. We're going to listen to it. We're going to have a discussion on it. I think it's going to be really great. Cherries, I'm not sure what happened to this young man. He went missing 41 years ago. Last seen in Jefferson City, Tennessee. He was supposed to be going to a church function up the street, but apparently he was going around to different houses collecting money from mowing, according to what I just read. But he ended up not going up to the church. Instead, he went down to Druther's restaurant at the end of his street, right near Main Street in his town. And apparently, there's two stories. One says that if you got a good report on your report cards, you could take your report card and you get free ice cream or a free hamburger. I heard ice cream in one story. Here it's on this flyer from one other flyer that I got says he got a free hamburger, but it's also been said that he went to collect his mowing money because he went up there to buy him something to eat. It also says that it's been told he went to a friend's house to watch TV and play till 7 o'clock. And apparently the neighbor said the last time they saw him was on the corner of Odell and Sycamore Lane, which is just a couple blocks from his house in his neighborhood. And his family didn't realize that David wasn't home until they went to go wake him up. His grandma went to get him up, and he wasn't in the bed. But his bed covers were apparently arranged in a way that made it look like he was in bed asleep. And authorities believe that he may have been abducted. There was a lead that led to Florida, thinking he may be with his father, but apparently that was discounted. I don't know that it was truly investigated. Little evidence has been made available in his case. And then Michelle came and told us about his clothes being found at a house across the street from where he went missing, where he lived, in the septic tank. But nothing's transpired from that. You had a choice of ice cream or hamburger for good grades, Doc? Good to know. Something just don't add up for me.
No, and I don't like now that we're hearing different stories.
I'm a little concerned. And this was the first time that I had heard about this other stuff. And that's why I was like, I feel like I need to share this because this is from NCMEC. I mean, it is from the National Center. It's not like it's me telling y'all some information that somebody just told me that.
Where do they get their information from? Law enforcement or the family?
Who knows? And it's good that we, figured out that that he was taking medicine. I didn't even know anything about his teeth
No.
being rotten.
The only thing I read was that he had 2 prominent front teeth that made him look, where you could pick him out.
So strange. I just,
And I don't understand how the bed covers were arranged. I mean, were they purposely arranged to make it look like he was asleep, or was that just how they ended up the last time he was in bed?
right. A lot of questions for sure. It's truly sad that they don't have any more answers than that.
Yes.
But there really isn't a lot more information out there about him. I mean, there's only been 2 news stations that have covered him. WBIR, it's basically got the same information, but that story ran back in 2017. And the only other news article I could find on David was from WATE, which we looked at that. And I read you the article. We listened to the police officer saying how he's actively investigating. I think there was an article by Medium. But other than that, there's not really anything except for the Facebook group. And those links are in the description of this video. So I encourage you, if you're interested in this case, to go over there and look at that. And please share his flyer out. Please continue to share this out for his family, because this case is still actively ongoing and they're searching for him. Good night, Allie. Hope you have a wonderful night. Hope you can swing by for New Year's if you're able to. Otherwise, I hope you have a happy New Year's. But thank you, Michelle, for coming up and talking about this case. But if you do want any of the links, they are in the description of this video. So please do go over there and check those out.
Thank you for covering it, because like I said, this is 20 minutes from my house. So
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Very close to me. I appreciate it.
Anytime y'all want me to cover a case, please let me know. Cold Case Crystal says, but in reality, this many years later, he may not even have teeth now. Well, that's a fair point.
If the medicine was rotting his teeth, that's definitely a fair point.
It just doesn't sound like this case may have a good ending, and I do hope that law enforcement will just continue to keep his face out there. And that's all we can do, is just share these cases with dignity and respect and share the facts that we know. We can talk about what our opinions are, but we can't put any guilt on any particular person or go after them in real life or make threats to them to come forward, because that's not going to solve this case. We have to let law enforcement do their job, because if there's no evidence, us harassing other people isn't going to bring justice for this family, for any of the family members that have missing people. We want to share their faces. We want to share their information, with dignity and respect, because all families deserve to be treated that way until the truth comes out. If we find out that there's something nefarious, at that point, people can have their change of heart. But it's not going to help with the investigation going after families, just like in Sebastian Rogers' case. Everybody needs to calm down and leave this family alone, because what's being done out here in this case, this is a train wreck. And how can Sebastian even want to come home? If Sebastian is out there and he's seeing all of this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know if I'd want to come home if it was me. Not after seeing my own parents getting vilified and another parent acting and saying the things about me and the way that it's just so upsetting to me.
Well,
I
it
just don't
is.
feel like he has any dignity. He is a young man who doesn't deserve any of this. And my heart really just goes out to these people because I can't imagine what this holiday season, we're going into a new year. And there's so many families who don't know where their loved one is. Cherries for you right here in the chat. Her son, Paul Flores, is missing. Christina, her son, Aaron Fortner, is still missing, and they don't have answers. So we're going to close out this live stream tonight, but I would really appreciate it if you could share your prayers, your positive thoughts, some hearts in the chat for these parents, for these family members who are still searching for their loved ones. And yes, even for Seth and Katie and Chris. For Monkey Michael Vaughn's mom, who was going through some very difficult times. For Brandy. And even for Summer Wells' parents. Summer has family that loves her very much. I promise you she does. There are so many people out here. I feel like we are at an all-time high of people that are missing, lost, stolen, abducted. And it's our mission here to keep their names and their faces shared with dignity and respect and love, in hopes that they will be found and justice will be served for them. And I appreciate you guys being here. And Christina and Cherries, I want you to know that you are in our thoughts and prayers. And I do hope that you'll be able to find answers as soon as possible, because I don't want you guys to go 41 years and not have the answers that you deserve. Hey, Twist, I know it is hard. Hey, Am, I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. Amethyst says, these people have inserted themselves for personal gain. They have zero respect or concern for Sebastian. Yeah. Love you too, Cherries. You know how to reach me. We'll get up this week. Now, don't forget, y'all, I am going to be live tomorrow night at 10:45 for our New Year's Eve celebration, where we just kind of come and hang out. You can just have a cool place to hang. We're not going to talk about, well, we can talk about whatever y'all want to, but it's not going to be a serious live stream. We're going to watch fireworks around the world and just kind of, celebrate. Next month will be 4 years that I've had my channel. It's like a 4-year anniversary for Duchess. And so I just want to spend a little bit of time with my people to usher in the new year with you guys. So if you have a chance, I hope that you guys will come over. We're going to be starting out about 10:45 and hang out with us for about an hour, couple hours maybe. But I do hope you guys have a wonderful evening. When you go out onto these streets, protect yourself. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are good. Stay true to yourself. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Unless you're sarcastic sometimes like I am, because, well, you never know what you're going to get with me. But until next time, I will see you guys later on, probably this week. We're going to talk about some more missing flyers and kind of do a weekly update on all the things that has been happening. But continue to share these missing flyers out. If you see a YouTube community wall and you have a community page, if you could just share one flyer, it doesn't have to be from me. It can be from anybody. That's a great way to pay it forward, to help advocate for these people. It really means a lot. Hey, SG. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Appreciate you being here. And don't forget to hit the like and share it out. We're just doing what we can to help the missing. Y'all have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow on New Year's Eve. Bye, y'all.